What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ. It's time to continue on with my top 100 games of all time. This week, 45 through 41. Coming in at number 45 is a duo of games. I just love them both. And that is Lunar One and Two on the PlayStation 1.
Another set of games where I can't just pick one. Originally on the Sega CD and then re-released on the PlayStation, both of these games easily rank up there with some of the best JRPGs the PS1 has to offer. They define adventure, and are only improved by their quirky cast of characters, gorgeous anime visuals, and music that you'll be humming to yourself long after you roll credits. While there's nothing super groundbreaking about the gameplay, the story and the characters are really what drives these games home. The stories between both games are connected, but take place about 1,000 years apart, and you don't need to have played either before you're able to enjoy the other. I highly recommend trying either Lunar Silver Star Story or Lunar Eternal Blue. Regardless of which you can get your hands on, you're in for a treat.
Coming in at number 44, once again, it's everybody's favorite plumber. That is Super Mario Odyssey.
With Super Mario 64 being one of my favorite Mario games of all time, I was chomping at the bit for years hoping that the new Mario entries would have a similar feel to it. Not that games like Mario Galaxy and Sunshine were bad by any means. They just didn't hit me like the N64 entry. Then came Super Mario Odyssey. It shared so much with Mario 64 in terms of gameplay and style, adding in plenty of moments for nostalgia, as well as the ability to keep getting stars in a level without having to leave and come back. Easily one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch, as well as one of the best Mario games period. This is definitely one Mario entry you don't want to pass up.
At number 43, a recognizable name in a huge series of games, that is Pokemon X and Y.
I'm sure there's a lot of Pokemon fans scratching their head at this, and I'm pretty sure based on past conversations that X and Y aren't exactly considered among the series' best entries. However, my experience playing this generation was such a positive one that I still think about the good times I had, and wish they'd implement a few things from X and Y in newer entries. For one, I absolutely loved the concept of walking around an area like a normal Pokemon game, but seeing other people who are online and in the same area, and being able to send them items and buffs to help them with battling and catching. It added a social aspect to the game that I loved, where you could do things for other people without necessarily having to interact with them directly. It was one of the first games in the series that I can remember playing where it just didn't feel quite so lonely.
At number 42 is a game that absolutely needs no introduction whatsoever. Even if you're a younger gamer, I would imagine you've at least heard of this, and you should absolutely play it, and that is Contra on the NES.
If you grew up with the NES, you played Contra. Nothing super complicated, nothing super deep. Just running from one end of the screen to the other, grabbing power-ups and shooting aliens. I played through this game with my cousin Mike so many times, and I'm still not tired of it. Before my grandparents passed away, it was tradition that anytime we were over there, we had to break out the old NES with Contra for a quick playthrough. Co-op on this game is such a blast, and I'd also be willing to bet that for many people, this is the game that introduced them to the infamous Konami code. Contra can be really tough, but with 30 lives, it's definitely doable.
And finally, at 41, one of the greatest stories ever told, and easily one of the best in the series, and considered to be the best in the series by many, that is Suikoden 2.
Considered the best in the Suikoden series by many, as well as one of the best JRPGs in general on the PS1, It's hard to argue with anyone that says Suikoden 2 is an absolute masterpiece of storytelling. The game's themes deal with war, grief, friendship, love, and everything in between. With the traditional Suikoden-esque 108 recruitable characters, you'll have a lot of personalities to interact with and get to know. And let's also not forget one of the best video game villains ever conceived in the form of the absolute monster that is Luca Blight. I can't stress enough how long the themes from this game will stick with you, and highly recommend playing it, especially with the new remasters coming out soon. Suikoden 2 is one of those JRPGs for people who aren't typically fans of the fantastical and over-the-top stories that most JRPGs are known for. It's grounded in its messaging and delivery, and you'll find yourself conflicted on what's really right and what's really wrong. Experience this game if you haven't already.
There you have it, guys. 45 through 41 is done. We are chugging right along, moving right along. We're getting there, getting to the lower numbers on the top one. We are on our way. One of those things. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. But thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about any of these games. Let me know if any of these should be higher up. I imagine there's a few people who are wondering why Pokemon X and Y is there, and why Suikoden 2 isn't higher up. Valid opinions, absolutely. I get it. But this is my list, so deal with it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. And as always, keep on gaming.